Good morning, Year 5. Today we are going to start the first of a series of lessons on the comprehension skill of inference. And then we're going to follow that up like we have before with the next chapter in Cosmic. So let's have a look at the slides around the skill of inference and we will go from there. Okay, so when we are talking about inference, we're basically looking for evidence in a text to be able to answer a question. So often it could be your opinion, what you think about a character or how a character is feeling or why an action has occurred, provided you can back it up with the evidence that's in the text. So to start off with, just to be rethinking about inference, I've got two pictures on the screen of two different people, and I want you to think, how might they be feeling? So what emotion do you think they're experiencing at the moment the picture was taken? Now, it doesn't say. Technically, neither of the characters are saying, I am feeling happy, sad, angry, frustrated. You've only got the clues in the form of the pictures. So what clues do the pictures give us about how they are feeling? So this is you inferring their feelings. Pause the video, have a discussion about those clues, and see if we agree. Right. I'm hoping that you're thinking the picture on the left, the black and white picture, is somebody feeling scared or anxious. The clues being that they've got their hands over their face, they're kind of peering between the gap in their fingers. Whereas the person on the right is probably feeling happy or joyful or excited, and the clues being that they are smiling. Okay, so that's just using our inference skills straight away. So that's what we're going to try and do with the text this week. So we're going to be focusing on the chapter that I've already read to you, the one entitled I Nearly Shaved Myself to Death. So we're just going to remind ourselves of the key events in that chapter. So at the beginning of it, Liam shaves and cuts himself. His parents send him to see a specialist because they think he's grown too much, and then a specialist. Yeah, when they decide that he's normal, he's just tall, he has to use his passport to prove his age on the bus because the bus drivers don't believe he's actually only in year 7. And then he starts year 7 and is mistaken for a teacher. And he eventually ends up taking the assembly and then leads the children out of the school. So that is the chapter that we are going to be focusing on across the next series of lessons. So, as we always do, I've picked up some vocabulary from that chapter that I want us just to practice having a go at saying and becoming more familiar with. And if you've got a dictionary, whether it be in the form of a book or an app on your phone or whatever technology it is that you're using, you can have a go at finding the definitions as well. So the words I've picked out of the chapter this week are abnormally, certificate, procedure, metaphorical, and dispensation. Now, the root word that I'm in the word stroking. So what is the root word? What's the stroking come from? Hopefully you're agreeing that the answer is stroke. We've dropped the E and added the ing suffix to spell the word stroking. And then this word here, specialist. What is the spelling rule? And it is a year 5 spelling rule that you can see in the word. Have that discussion with someone with you and near you. Pause the video, come back to me. I'm hoping you've already done that. And it's in the middle of the word, it's the shul, C-I-A-L, because that sound can also be spelled T-I-A-L as well, but it is C-I-A-L that we are looking at there. Okay. Now, let's have a go at some of these words again. We're going to follow the pattern that we do in class. So I'll say it, shout it, whisper it, and clap it. You can't act it because you can't see me, but you're just going to have to assume that it is a awesome performance. So first word, repeat it after me as I say it. Abnormally, 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 abnormally. Certificate, 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 certificate. Procedure, 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 procedure. Metaphorical, 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 metaphorical. Dispensation, 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 dispensation. If you could send in the definitions of those words, that'd be fantastic. Even use them in a sentence would be pretty good as well. Now, chapter 4 is, as I said, the one that we're going to focus on, and we're going to refer to different parts of the chapter as we go. So across the lessons this week, rather than reading the whole chapter again or trying to fit the whole chapter onto the screen, what I'm going to do is just show bits of the text that are relevant to the questions that we are trying to answer. Okay, so it's a short one today, and I'll start reading Cosmic in a moment, and then each lesson, as we actually develop and practice the inference skills through writing, will be a little bit longer, but the first one's always, as we introduce it, is always a little bit shorter. So just something to think about. Maybe you can come up with the answer based on what you know happened. Why didn't Liam correct Mrs. Sass before it was too late? Why did he get to the point that he was actually leading the assembly? What would have been going through his mind? Okay, think about what you know about the character. Can you infer that decision? Think about why he might have done that. Okay, right. We're now going to move on to Cosmic. Right, before I start the next chapter, My Visible Friend, just want to mention it's fantastic to hear some of you really enjoying the Cosmic book. Katie Bow in 5P, who I think sounds like has almost finished the book, is that she got right well ahead of myself. Really lovely to hear how you're enjoying the book and discovering a new author. And for everyone, really, just want to mention actually something that's come to my attention. The author of this book, Frank Cottrell Boyce, if you have an adult with you who uses Twitter, Frank Cottrell Boyce on Thursday, I believe, is actually going to be talking about the book Cosmic and answering questions. So if you want to look him up on Twitter and send some questions in and let us know if he replies to you, that would be fantastic. Because he's going to be talking specifically about the Cosmic, I believe. So an opportunity to actually speak to an author, and in this case, the author that we're actually reading from. So that'd be really cool. Right. My Visible Friend. There were about 10 million meetings and letters home about my peculiar and disruptive behaviour at school assembly. Mrs. Sass decided that the problem was I had poor social skills because I was an only child. He doesn't mix with the other children. He's an isolated figure on the playground, she'd said. Wouldn't you be an isolated figure if people followed you round shouting, "Sir, sir," or "Wolverine," or yelling, "Hello up there," a million times a day? I mean, what did they want me to do? Shrink? Dad said, you need to try and make some friends. I've got lots of friends. I've got 20 guild members just waiting to do my bidding. I'm talking about real life, not computers. I don't accept that distinction. That's exactly my point, said Dad. You need a friend who is visible to the naked eye. The point about World of Warcraft is that the other players don't know how tall or short or fat or thin you are. They just accept you for what you are. Namely, in my case, a highly skilled night elf with healing powers. This wasn't enough for Mum and Dad, so they sent me to the Little Stars drama group every Saturday morning. Lisa, the girl who ran it, didn't seem impressed with my poor social skills. She sucked her teeth and looked me up and down and said, "We're really a children's theatre group." "He's 12, said Dad. "What, mental age?" "No, physical age. And mental, I suppose. He's 12. Mentally, physically, emotionally, the lot. He's just a bit tall and stubbly." Oh, she looked like she didn't believe him. I showed her my passport. He's a clever lad, said Dad. He's gifted and talented. He's not exactly a little star, though, is he? Said Lisa. I suppose if we did the big friendly giant, he'd be perfect. So, she smiled. Why don't we do that then? So we did. Florida Kirby was already a fully paid up little star. Lisa gave her the part of the giant's little friend, Sophie. Sophie in the play, Florida said, was named after Sophie Dahl, the supermodel. So when I play Sophie, I'm playing a young supermodel. Florida always has to be a celebrity. When Lisa made us do a role play in which she had to act like we'd seen a ghost, Florida saw the ghost of Britney Spears. When we had to pretend to be a dog, she was Madonna's dog. As we walked home through the Strand the first day, Florida kept practicing her lines on me. The lines were mostly things like, "You're huge," "Goodness, you're tall," or "You're proper gigantic." And she said them all in her best little star's loud and clear voice. I sat down on one of the benches by the water feature just to be a little bit less tall for a while. If we sit here, said Florida, security will come and chase us. They hate kids hanging around this bench. They hate kids, really. But security didn't come and chase us. In fact, one of them walked past us and nodded at me. What's going on? Said Florida. They think, I explained, that you are with me and that I am your dad. No, you're kidding. Do they? Do they honest? Yeah. But this is brilliant. And she was right. We could do anything. So we did. That Saturday and every Saturday from then on, we played on the lifts, messed about in the photo booth, went into Total Games and tried out all the new releases. We even went into News and Booze, which is strictly no unaccompanied children under any circumstances. Florida loved it in there because she could browse through all the celebrity magazines while I bought a newspaper to make myself look more dadly. Sometimes she used to give me £1 before we went inside so I could buy her chocolate. I said, "Buy your own chocolate." Girls do not buy their own chocolate when they're out with their dads. Dads buy it for them. She even tried to get me to buy her cigarettes. Dads don't buy their children cigarettes. My actual dad would. He'd do anything for me, she said. He's going to buy me a pony. Well, ask your actual dad then. Once I went in there without her and the woman behind the counter said, "Where's your little princess today then?" How much did Florida love that when I told her? Princess is brilliant. You'll have to call me Princess. I don't think so. Why not? My dad calls me Princess all the time. We'll talk about this another time, I said. Whoa! You really sounded like a dad when you said that. Thanks. Another time she brought her little sister Ibiza with her. Oh, another one, said the woman in News and Booze. I didn't know you had two. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it's lovely to see a young dad spending time with his girls the way you do. And they're both a credit to you. Aren't you lucky girls to have such a good dad? She gave them a chomp bar each. I wonder what mischief might be occurring now Florida and Liam are pretending to be father and daughter. We'll find out a little bit more tomorrow.